Fergie reaches her breaking point. The end of the happiest divorced couple. Welcome to Crown Chronicles, your royal insider where we uncover the secrets, the scandals, and the stories that keep the British monarchy endlessly fascinating. If you love royal drama, emotional truth, and stories that pull back the palace curtain, make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell, because today's story will leave you absolutely speechless. For decades, Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson, affectionately known as Fergie, have been called the happiest divorced couple in the world. They've lived together for nearly 30 years after their separation, shared holidays, raised their daughters side by side, and even supported one another through scandal and public humiliation. But now, reports suggest that Fergie has finally reached her breaking point, and what was once a bond admired for its loyalty may be on the verge of crumbling for good. So, what went wrong between these two royal exes who seemed inseparable? Why has Sarah Ferguson, the woman who stood by Andrew through every controversy and crisis, finally had enough? To answer that, we have to go back to the beginning of their extraordinary story, and the complicated dynamic that has bound them together for nearly 4 decades, when Sarah Ferguson first entered the royal spotlight in the 1980s. She was fiery, funny, and full of life, a breath of fresh air for the often stiff royal family. Prince Andrew was the Queen's dashing second son, full of confidence and charisma, and their romance seemed like a perfect royal fairy tale. Their 1986 wedding was a global event, filled with laughter and joy, and the world fell in love with the Duke and Duchess of York. But behind the glamour, life inside the firm was never easy for Sarah. Her outgoing nature clashed with royal formality, and while she was beloved by the public, she was often criticized within palace circles for not being royal enough. When Andrew's naval career kept him away for months at a time, Sarah found herself lonely and overwhelmed. The media turned cruel, targeting her weight, her style, and her every move. And then came the scandals, photos, rumors, and public humiliation that would ultimately destroy her reputation and end her marriage. By 1996, the fairy tale was officially over. But unlike other royal divorces, this one came with a twist. Sarah and Andrew never really separated in spirit. While other royal exes disappeared from each other's lives, Fergie and Andrew seemed to grow even closer. They co-parented their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, with warmth and unity, and eventually moved back in together at Royal Lodge on the Windsor estate. To outsiders, it seemed bizarre, a divorced couple living together for decades, but to those who knew them, it made sense. They shared a unique friendship, a mutual understanding that neither could find elsewhere. Sarah often called Andrew her best friend, and he reportedly said she was the only person who truly understood him. For years, this odd arrangement worked. The public even began to admire it, their laughter, their loyalty, their refusal to let go of each other despite everything. They were the unconventional royals who made divorce look almost charming. But behind the smiles, there was always an underlying tension, the unspoken truth that Andrew's world, and his troubles, would always overshadow Sarah's own happiness. And when Andrew's world collapsed following his association with Jeffrey Epstein, Sarah once again stood by him. While the royal family distanced themselves, she publicly defended him, insisting he was a good and kind man who didn't deserve the vilification. But her unwavering loyalty came at a cost. Sarah's reputation, already fragile, was pulled into the shadows of scandal once more. Invitations dried up, opportunities slowed, and whispers circulated that she had sacrificed her own image to protect Andrew's. Now, with reports of growing financial strain, pressure from King Charles for Andrew to leave Royal Lodge, and tension mounting inside the Windsor estate, sources close to Sarah suggest she's had enough. After years of holding everything together, emotionally, financially, and personally, she's finally starting to crack under the weight of it all. She's exhausted, one insider reportedly said. She's carried Andrew for too long. Sarah has always been fiercely loyal, but that loyalty has come at a price. She stood by Andrew when few others would, offering him companionship when the royal family turned cold. But now, that loyalty seems to have trapped her. She's 66, still working hard to support herself through books, media projects, and charity work, while also dealing with her own health challenges, including her recent cancer scare. Through it all, Andrew remained secluded, his royal duties stripped, his public image tarnished beyond repair. For years, Sarah's positivity and humor kept them afloat. But sources say the tension between them has begun to grow unbearable. Some claim that Andrew's stubborn refusal to move out of Royal Lodge has created a rift between him and the rest of the royal family, and even between him and Sarah. King Charles reportedly wants the property returned to the Crown estate, offering Andrew alternative housing at Frogmore Cottage. But Andrew has dug in his heels, insisting Royal Lodge is his home and that he has no intention of leaving. Sarah, caught in the middle, faces an impossible choice: stay by Andrew's side and risk further alienation from the royal family, or finally break away and start fresh. Friends say she's beginning to see the toll it's taken. She spent years living in Andrew's shadow, one longtime acquaintance said. She deserves peace, but she's trapped by her own compassion. Despite the deep affection they share, Sarah may finally be realizing that her loyalty has come at the expense of her own happiness and independence. Their daughters, Beatrice and Eugenie, remain close to both parents, but even they reportedly see the tension growing. They adore their mother's upbeat spirit and worry that she's given too much of herself to protect their father. Fergie, ever the optimist, tries to keep the peace, but lately, even she has struggled to maintain her trademark smile. It's a heartbreaking turn for a woman once dubbed the life of the royal party. For years, Sarah Ferguson and Prince Andrew symbolized the possibility of friendship after heartbreak, a royal couple who showed the world that divorce didn't have to mean destruction. But as the pressures mount, their once unbreakable bond seems to be cracking. If this truly is the end of the happiest divorced couple, it marks not only the close of a remarkable relationship, but also a poignant reminder that even the strongest partnerships can collapse under too much strain. Sarah has stood by Andrew for more than 30 years, through scandal, exile, and disgrace. But maybe, just maybe, it's time she stands up for herself instead. Whether this marks the beginning of a new chapter or the final act of their royal love story remains to be seen. But one thing is certain: Sarah Ferguson's breaking point isn't just the end of a relationship, it's the beginning of a reckoning. And for the woman who once defied every royal rule, this might be her most courageous act yet. Thank you for watching Crown Chronicles. If you were captivated by this inside look into the unraveling bond between Andrew and Fergie, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Tell us in the comments, do you think Sarah will finally walk away, or will her loyalty to Andrew keep her tied to Royal Lodge forever? Stay tuned, because in the royal world, endings are never simple. And the crown always hides more than it reveals.